So this is basically the ECG of atrial fibrillation. This is the ECG of a person who is suffering from atrial fibrillation. So what can you note? The first thing is that the QRS complex appears to have a completely normal shape. So what that means is that during atrial fibrillation, the ventricles, they are not involved in the fibrillation, and that can be seen from the normal contour of the QRS complex. Right. Secondly, if you try to look for the P wave, you will find that it is absent. Now don't confuse this with the P wave. This is a T wave. QRS complex followed by a T wave. There is no P wave over here. What you can observe is a high frequency. So instead of there being a P wave, what you see is this very high frequency wavy situation, I guess. There isn't any actual P wave. Additionally, what you might notice is that the interval between the QRS complexes is variable. All of these are very interesting points, and we will be talking about them right now. So the first question that we can consider is why is there no P wave? Why is there an absence of P waves? The reason for that is that the atria are in fibrillation. If you know about ventricular fibrillation, it's when basically multiple small contractile waves basically develop, and they're directed in different directions. And because at a given time there are multiple and numerous contractile depolarizing waves, and at any given time there are many of them that are in opposite direction, and so they tend to cancel out, which is why you don't see any P. That's why P wave is not present. Right, so why is the QRS complex normal? Because the ventricles atria and the ventricles, they're separated by a fibrous ring. The only way in which impulses can pass is through a single passageway, the AV node, and the AV node only allows one impulse at a time. Then it allows a second after an interval of 0.35 seconds. This is the reason the ventricles are largely saved and the QRS complex is largely the same. Why is there a variable interval? It's because there's a mandatory 0.35 delay, right? And then it is variable when the next atrial circus wave will reach over here. Variable, it can either reach immediately or it can reach after an interval of 0.6, minimal and maximum 0.06, my apologies. So that is why there is a variable time duration. And why is it so quick? It's so quick because these are being produced at such a rapid rate, so normally it takes longer for the next wave to reach the AV node, so there's a longer interval.